you think. When you walk by, you would never know. It starts at 4th Street and heads right back to Sitgrave Street. We take up a full city block. And in it, it's a small community every day when I come to work.
We get a lot of people who come in and they feel it and they stay. I've been here for 18 years.
12 years.
3 years.
23 years.
9 years.
I started coming here when I was 1.5.
I think that there is just that sense of we could get it right every time. We can knock it out of the park every time.
We as an agency seem to be this close to getting it right and being set. And it's like every time we think we're there, it's like, oh, it's just a couple more years and we can get it perfect.
We need to have people from all walks of life find something within this facility that is welcoming and exciting for them to participate in.
In buildings like this, it's roped off and nobody goes in the rooms and, you know, people peek in. But I think the beauty of the agency is it's just not an old building roped off. It's alive. People live here. This is their home.
It was originally meant to be a mansion. It was not meant, people will say to me, oh, this is how people lived. This is how really wealthy people lived. And the architect that Mr. Saman used was one who had done a lot on College Hill, but it was at a time that people built these huge mansions.
William Mickler had started working on this building probably around 1901. And Saman bought up 4 properties here. And not only did he have the silk mill here in Easton, he had a newspaper, the Easton Free Press. And anytime the town needed something, he was there.
Mr. Saman was from Frankfurt, Germany, very proud of that. And so he added the European and Germanic touches that were probably not in every other home that you would see. It was very important to him.
Somebody asked him why he was building the house in downtown Easton. He said, well, this house is for the ladies of the Saman family.
And in Mr. Saman's will, he left everything to his wife, which was very uncharacteristic of 1911 when he died. So when Mrs. Saman took over the running of the silk mills and the corporation, I find it fascinating that she was the CEO of the silk mills, but couldn't cast a ballot. Women's rights were still not in effect, so she could not vote in a general election.
This house has been for the ladies from the time it was completed, about 1903, 1904, through 2009. It's always been for the ladies. Little did he know what he was saying way back when.
I joined the YWCA just for the Labor Club. This goes way back. It was young married women, so I had just had my first child and was anxious to get out, but in time found myself very, very involved with the YW as a whole.
Because at the time I was born, my mother was already involved with the YWCA, with one of the social clubs that was here. That club had annual Christmas parties and other gatherings throughout the year to which members would bring their children. So some of my, before I ever got to school, friends, who are still friends to this day, are kids that I met here in this building as a small child. And one of them and I have both taken our turns as president of the 3rd Street Alliance. And we both get a kick out of that we've followed in our mother's footsteps.
I would help people out, and I was one of those kids that weren't that bad all the time.
Taylor's been here since she was 1.5. But she's definitely grown so much just from being around other kids. She took swimming lessons starting at 18 months too, so she started early.
The power of 3rd Street Alliance, for me, is in the interaction of its programs. They're very interwoven. And a lot of people will say, well, gee, this would make sense if you didn't have that pool. Or, yeah, I understand the shelter and the child care, but why do you have those old people there? And if you don't see the overall picture, you don't get it. But that interweaving of all of those things is really critical. Okay, sit here with me for 10 minutes and tell me which woman walking in here is a shelter woman, which one is bringing her kid to daycare, which one's bringing her mother to our adult care, and which one is coming for swimming lessons. Can you pick them out? No.
I do think we make an impact. Certainly we deal with a lot of families that are going through, some difficult stuff. The Learning Center in particular, we try to be very consistent with children and families. We try to make sure that this is the place that they come, that it's not chaotic or confusing.
We're all hanging out together, like we'll be in like that huge group, and then we'll just be like talking, laughing.
It's very much a community in as much as we all share space and we all have to live in a space, and we do cross paths.
We're providing, or I'm providing, a service. I'm giving opportunities to women to stabilize their lives and move on to bigger and better things.
But we also have just these little mini community connections like adult care, which we go to visit.
So now you've got the children's daycare center interacting with an older population, sort of the in loco parentis grandparents, if you will.
Sometimes they have so fun with us, and they want to, to come Saturday, Sunday here, and the caregivers tell me, oh, my mom killed me. He says, let's go, let's go, let's go. And I said, they are closed, and she couldn't believe me. And finally, I dialed the phone and said, see, they are not answering, they are closed. Took a little bit relax my mom. Okay, Saturday, Sunday, they are closed.
If somebody leaves here, goes into a nursing home, then we feel like a failure. But if they leave here, go to a nursing home, but the family says, oh my gosh, what you did for them during that time was so wonderful, then we feel a little better.
For the first month, it's so difficult, but after 1 month, they get used to us, and they enjoy being with us too.
I think that the program directors who do the daily work, working with people who have the saddest stories for which I would spend all day crying, they do the really hard work.
For us, the mantra is personal responsibility. If you can get everybody to believe that, then you get two things. One, you get a happy little group all marching in the same direction, but you also get people who are saying, I can make a difference, I can do this.
Our executive director said, I just heard from, and she gave the name of the resident, the former resident, and I'm like, oh geez, because this was a young woman who came in literally at 17, pregnant, was here actually 3 separate times, which is sort of against the norm for us. And I was waiting to hear and she's looking for housing again, but she's not. She's looking to rent one of the rooms for her graduation party, 10 years high school graduation. So when you come back and hear, oh, and by the way, she said you saved her life, that's why I do it.
We've survived 100 years. We're certainly going to survive 100 more, provided we continue to do the things and respond to the needs in the community.
A centennial is just it's a contrived way to say, look at us, but I really think we're worth looking at. So, in that regard, I'm happy to celebrate it, but mostly because I want people to look at today and tomorrow. I'd like them to look at yesterday and be happy, but I'd like them to look at today and tomorrow.